Well, Aaron continues to roll its way through the Atlantic and over towards the Florida coast. Now, the good news is that we don't think it's going to reach Florida, but still, it's going to cause some pretty big waves on the Florida coast and all the way up the coast as we go through the next couple of days. So let's take a look now at that tropical satellite. What I've done here is I've actually superimposed one of the Hurricane Hunter aircraft, the path of that Hurricane Hunter aircraft, onto this tropical satellite. So you can see that the Hurricane Hunter aircraft took off from Lakeland and flew all the way into and around the storm to give us an idea of what's happening in the environment, not only in the storm, but also outside of it, especially in its upcoming path, to give us an idea of what's happening. Now, what's happening here is that we're starting to see some dry air being pulled into the storm from the northwest. Hurricane Center forecasters have been talking about that. That's helping to weaken the storm just a shade as we've gone through the last few hours. In fact, as we look at the models, we're continuing to see that path off to the north and eventually to the northeast. Now, this is a good path for Aaron, at least, even though it's battling that dry air, because the water temperatures here are very warm over the areas northeast of the Bahamas. So what's happening is we have dry air in the upper levels of the atmosphere battling this warm water, and so far the upper dry air is actually winning the battle. So for the moment, we're seeing the storm weaken a little bit. In fact, when top winds are down to 125 miles per hour at this advisory, they were 140 earlier on. 24.4 and 71.7 is the current position, moving to the northwest at 8, and the barometer in the middle of air, and if you were able to drop one in there, would be 949 millibars. 71 right now at the Beckley Airport, so kind of a tropical feel to the weather because the humidity is pretty high at 78%. Barometer sitting at 30.06, winds out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. Around the rest of the region, 81 in Charlotte, 79 in Charleston, 87 in Nashville, 85 in St. Louis. Temperatures are pretty warm all throughout the eastern third of the country at this hour. Regional satellite radar, there's not much to look at in the way of any kind of showers. Even the showers over the Carolinas had begun to fade as we lost the heating of the day. There were some pretty strong ones earlier over towards the southeastern corner of the state down towards Wilmington. Now we're seeing a few showers and storms also into the lower peninsula of Michigan. That's associated with a front which will come towards the area from the northwest and will give us a chance for showers as we go through our Wednesday and into our Thursday. You see what's happening, especially with the heating of the day mixing in with that front as it comes towards the area. Good chance for showers on both of those days. And there is a possibility for some heavy amounts of rain if you find yourself underneath one of these showers. There's a whole bunch of moisture to work with. We talked about that tropical feel to the weather. Well, that means there could be some heavy amounts of rain associated with those thunderstorms and showers as they make their way through the region. Highs tomorrow around the region. You notice that as we go through the day, we're going to see readings top out in the middle 80s in a lot of places. 85 in Oak Hill, 83 in Beckley, 80 in Bluefield, 88 in Pineville, 82 in Lewisburg. And let's go hour by hour now in Beckley to give you an idea what it's going to look like. We top out at right around 83 degrees, drop back just a shade. Small possibility for an isolated shower or two as we go through the day as well. 7-day forecast. High temperatures are going to be in the lower to middle 80s at first. And we'll see that chance for the showers and storms, especially as we begin our Wednesday evening. So in other words, Wednesday starts off nicely, and then we begin to see that chance for showers later on, 83 by that point. Then we drop off with another front coming towards the region and giving us slightly cooler air. Highs by that point will be in the upper 70s.
Now, is this front at all impacted by Hurricane Aaron?
A little bit. Now we're going to see maybe some extra moisture with the next system because of Aaron. Possibly on Thursday, Aaron will try to throw some moisture in our direction. That could give us a little bit more moisture for those storms to work with.
All right. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up now. Yeah. We have more news, weather, and sports coming your way after the break, so don't go anywhere.